Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about why there's so much hate surrounding Carlos King compared to other executive producers. So anything I say is alleged and in my personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only, and this is not personal. So I wanted to kind of have a conversation with some executive producers, such as Carlos King, such as Mona Scott Young, such as Andy Cohen, you guys. And there's some other executive producers that you may not know by name on both the Zeus Network, on WeTV, and several other platforms, you guys. But follow me where I'm going with this, right? One thing is not like the others, right? And even if you have issues with Mona Scott or you have issues with Andy Cohen, there's still a level that they're not trying to be seen, you guys. And I even tried to look up if they have any fans, like if they have a fan base name, like how Carlos King, since he's been on OWN, is bent on having a fan base called the Raindrops. I guess Mona Scott has a fan base called the Mona Mians or something. However, I tried looking up on social media and I could not find fans tweeting about how they're Mona Mians and want to incite hate to other people. Andy Cohen, I don't know if he has a name of a fan base, but again, I never have known, Andy Cohen to have a name of a fan base and then to utilize that to fuel hate to others. And even the other side as well is I've never seen an executive producer that is trying to, as Suge Knight would say, be all up in the videos, you guys. Be all up in the videos, then use their platform to basically openly play favorites. Even if Andy Cohen plays favorites, there's still a level of professionalism to where we don't know really the behind the scenes stuff until this lawsuit, really. But my point is, he keeps it about, his shows on the network, and he might spill some tea on his radio show on SiriusXM, but I never feel that a line is crossed when Andy Cohen is hosting Watch What Happens Live or on his reunions. I do feel that there's certain things that he lets slide depending on who the housewife is, who the whoever the person is, and that certain people don't always get held accountable depending on who certain people's favorites are. But I also feel that also has to do with some of the production team as well. And I feel that's less about Andy Cohen. And even the same with Mona Scott Young, right? I never have ever felt, even if she's appeared or whatever in different episodes and things like that, I never felt like Mona Scott or Andy Cohen is trying to be the face of all of the shows. It is trying to be all up in the videos, you guys. Is trying to be like, hey, you cannot talk about love and hip hop. You can't talk about, X, Y, and Z without me reminding you every single day, I am the creator. I am the executive producer. And that's the difference. Carlos King, a big reason that there is so much more hate now, there has to be accountability that somebody at OWN in an executive level position wants to be the star. I never got that vibe from Mona Scott Young. They just want to, I've never got that vibe from Andy Cohen. They just want the money to roll in from the success and the messiness of their reality shows. But unlike them, Carlos King, they're not inciting a hate campaign against their own reality stars of their shows. You are. You don't realize, Carlos King, that you have been combative as well. That you have, picking and choosing your battles, but you have been combative, continuously attacking the fans. I have never seen Mona Scott Young or Andy Cohen attack the fans. Even when Andy has held accountable other housewives that have engaged with social media trolls or whatever, it has been about the actual reality stars' behavior with their behavior on social media than it was about an actual fan base doing something or saying something or implying something. I'm saying that to say, Carlos King, you're the only person that is blaming the fans for everything. Blaming the fans for anything and everything negative, and that's not fair. And all it is doing is it's inciting more hate. It's inciting more negativity. I'm saying something here. And the other side as well is the messiness of Messy Mondays and Mr. Mondays, Carlos King. And what is missing from you is at least in level of fairness and unbiasedness that is taking place when you have different cast members of your shows on your platform. But instead, you want to utilize it to basically be messy. To basically have certain people, be set up to be attacked. And then you want to, just blame everybody else for the attacks, but you're encouraging it. You can't have it both ways. You can't set up these, messy shows, these Messy Mondays, these Mr. Mondays, and basically set it up to where you want to defend certain cast members, you want to protect certain cast members of your shows, you want to play favorites, but then you basically incite negative consequences when you want to set up certain storylines to be pushed a certain way. Like, for instance, when you want to set it up when you are talking about Martell this season, and you want to go off the script and be like, hey, well, he's a good guy, and when I go out with him all the time, all the women come up to, Martell and X, Y, and Z. Or when you have Akeisha on there, you're talking about some off the, show conversations that you're having about the other Bells on Bell Collective. It's Carlos. Nobody is perfect. And there has been mess with all these reality shows, regardless of what network it appears on. But a big reason this increase in hate has started is in part of your need to insert social media so much into the show, to the point some of the cast members on your shows do not share their lives anymore. But more importantly, Carlos, it is your need to be seen. It is your need to want to be the face of all these reality shows, and that is not the case of Andy Cohen and Mona Scott Young and others. And other executive producers of other reality shows, Carlos. You weren't even like this when you were at Bravo on Housewives. I didn't know of any raindrops then when you were on Bravo. So there has to be a level of accountability here, Carlos, that when you set up for a fan base to be attacked because you want to also attack that cast member, there's going to be negative consequences. When you get on your platform and try to blame the fans for anybody quitting your shows or any misfortunes on your shows, and I always say it starts at the top, Carlos, that maybe if some of these people were treated better or had better working conditions, maybe they would have wrote it out. But using fans as a scapegoat, trying to make trolls a scapegoat, trying to make the very few incidents of people that have gone too far and make it representative of an entire group of people, it's not okay, Carlos. And your desperate need to prove to the people and prove to your ego that people like you, it is weird. It's very weird, Carlos. Mona Scott and Andy Cohen always get dragged. Always. For some of the foolishness that has happened over the years. But the difference is, they're not on here, Carlos, going back and forth with people. They're not on here trying to prove something to the people. And that is the difference between them and you. And that is why when there is hate, when there is negativity, it falls back mostly on the cast members. Because it's the cast members that want to try to prove something on social media when there's backlash. But instead, when it comes to your shows, Carlos King, you want to be the face of the backlash. You want to be the face if there's anything negative said or done as it pertains to you or any shows you're affiliated with. And that is why there's so much of an increase of hate, because you want to be the star. You want the Raindrops to be the face of all of your shows and not your cast members. You want to be the face of all of your shows and not the cast members of your shows. That is a conflict of interest. Either you want to be an executive producer, Carlos, or you want to be the star. But the issue is, it's looking more and more, ever since you inserted yourself also in a couple of episodes this season of Love and Marriage Huntsville, there's no line that is basically being drawn in the sand to show, hey, I'm an executive producer. I am overseeing these shows X, Y, and Z, but there's going to be a level of professionalism I am going to maintain to keep the integrity of my shows intact. And you can't say the same of these other executive producers that are, you can't point to me a time where I'm seeing Mona Scott or Andy Cohen or other executive producers popping off on social media or trying to prove something on social media, you guys. You're the only one that's doing this, Carlos. You're the only one that wants to be seen, that wants this exposure, that you want to prove how close you are with certain reality stars. You want to prove, how close of a relationship that you have with certain people. Nobody else is doing that. It's assumed that, yes, certain cast members are going to be closer than others with some of these executive producers, especially some of the cast members who have been on the show for many years, or other reality stars that have respect for these executive producers that might have a relationship with them. Nobody is saying you can't do that or you can't express that. But the problem is, Carlos King, it always revolves back around you. And the only time you want to hold cast members accountable is if it is a cast member that you feel is, is too confident, is too successful, has too much of a fan base, has too much dominance, and you want to find a way to try to scale it back or try to level the playing field so that they can still get hate as well. And as a result of that, Carlos, it has created more hate and more negativity. So my question to you, Carlos King, is what are you going to do to stop this cycle? You keep talking about rebranding, but I don't see any growth. I don't see any maturity. You keep saying you're not going to respond to the hate, you're not going to respond to the negativity, but you're always responding, Carlos. You're always trying to throw shade. You're always trying to prove a point. And you're always blaming fans of your shows for everything and wondering why fans are deciding to black out of your shows. You can't have it both ways. And then beg people out on the street to know your name and know who you are. No. Carlos, a big reason there's this negativity and this toxicity and things of going too far is because of your need to present yourself as the star. Your need to present yourself as your fan base and da-da-da-da-da. The focus needs to be back on the cast of your shows, Carlos, and not you inserting yourself as the focus of the shows. And maybe, just maybe then, a lot more fans would be talking about the actual show itself instead of having to have separate conversations, Carlos King, about you. But you also want to be a blogger and a YouTuber as well. So now we have to talk about the messiness that is coming with that is causing backlash, that is causing even your own co-host and Dr. Heavenly to quit. Because it is too much negativity, Carlos. But you can't blame the fans for that. It starts at the top. If you set the tone at the top, that there's going to be a level of respect, that there's going to be a level of professionalism, there's going to be a level of tact, a lot of this backlash, a lot of this hate, a lot of this negativity wouldn't be here. But again, until things change, Carlos, things are going to be more of the same. But the point of this video is Andy Cohen and Mona Scott Young and other executive producers of other reality shows are not conducting themselves like you are, regardless of whatever their ventures they've got going on, regardless of whether or not they've appeared on other podcasts or have their own podcasts. I never get a takeaway that they're trying to be the star. I never get a takeaway that they're trying to be the face of everything. It's known that they're the executive producers, that they've created and have had these ideas about Love and Hip Hop and Real Housewives franchise. But it is you that continuously wants to tell people, I'm the creator, I am the focus, I am the star, I am the one in charge of the raindrops. No, Carlos. You want to be the cast member. You want to be the person that's front and center of it all. And it's a conflict. That's why people say it's a conflict of interest, because it's doing too much and it's causing too much negativity. But at some point, Carlos, something has to give, because the way we're going right now, it's not positive. It's not positive at all. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.